Good evening, everyone. My name is Michelle Hercules, and I would like to welcome you to the Forever4Ward Tech Masterclass AI Unwrapped Expert Insight um, edition. And so I just want to start off by saying a sincere thank you to Erica. This is the last of three series, which is really hard to believe that we've finally come to the last one. But Erica, I want to thank you in advance for sharing so much knowledge and insight in this space. For one, I also learned a lot. And so for the next slide, I'm going to do a welcome, I'm actually going to have my avatar that I created with your guidance go over the welcome.
And welcome to the Forever4Ward Tech Masterclass, AI Unwrapped Expert Insight Edition. This session will bring everything together, wrapping all of the concepts we've explored into one powerful and comprehensive experience. We'll dive deeper into high-impact AI prompts, best practices, and leading platform strategies designed to help you maximize AI in both your personal and professional life. You'll walk away with tangible resource guides, practical tools, and immediately usable strategies to support your everyday productivity and ongoing professional growth.
See, I'm a
That
user.
was awesome.
So sincerely, thank you so much for one, helping me learn, one, how to make an avatar, leveraging Hey Jen. I know that's what we went over in our last master class. But yes, I think you were going to say something before we went to the welcome.
Oh, I just wanted to thank you for having me on for the sessions, and I'm so grateful and thankful for you having me on for the sessions. It's just been fun. I mean,
It
I
has been.
hope everyone's learning a lot, but it's just been fun.
Yes. And so for those that were unable to see the first and the second session, the first session really covered just a basic overview of what AI is for everyone. And then it also covered various levels as to how AI can help support you, either as a student, as an entry level employee, mid level employee, or an executive. The deep dive went into helpful prompts and just a lot of fun AI. Erica was able to share some video creation, music creation, but then also some high level security settings that you should have. And so if we go to the next slide, we'll go over the agenda for today. So we're going to, from an expert standpoint, provide additional insight related to different security settings that you should have for ChatGPT, um, insight related to Claude, Google Gemini, as well as Microsoft Pilot. The last masterclass, we started to dive into Perplexity, but we didn't have enough time to actually finish an example. So we're going to give an example in that space. We'll also go over some top 30 AI prompts. As mentioned in the prior master classes, Eric and I have worked together to create the top 30 AI playbooks for the various levels that we mentioned. So if you're a student, entry level, mid level, executive, we have 30 really helpful and effective playbooks for you to use. Another question that I've been getting a lot are what are some of the leading AI certifications? So Erica's going to go into some of the leading certifications and what you should be aware of. And then, yeah, we'll close out with like helpful resources and next steps. And so with that, Erica, the floor is yours. And thank you.
Okay, well, first we're going to do some AI platforms and some helpful insights about the platforms. We're going to be securing ChatGPT as well as taking a look at Google Gemini and what Gemini does, as well as Claude. And we're going to do a little bit of Microsoft Copilot and how you can gain some efficiencies when you're using Microsoft Copilot, especially in graphics for your job. So I'll let you just chat for a minute, Michelle. I'm just going to
Sure.
bring up, we're going to start with ChatGPT.
Excellent. So as Erica brings the prompt up, right now, I think it's extremely important for us to really learn what security settings we should have on the back end, right? As we're getting more and more familiar with, okay, I like ChatGPT when it comes to writing emails, or I like using ChatGPT when it comes to writing proposals for my company or my organization. Are there things on the back end that you should have from a security standpoint to make sure that your information isn't leaked? Or if you have like a business idea, to make sure that someone doesn't steal your idea, right? So, with that, Eric, if you wouldn't mind showing us some helpful security settings.
Okay, great. We do have the data controls here. And the data controls that I want to tell you should be off are first, it's improve the model for everyone. The reason why that should be off is because you don't want to share any of your data with the learning module that is underneath the ChatGPT um, front end. So on the back end, you won't be sharing any of your data. So that's one really great thing. You can also do security on this platform. You can set up multi-factor authentication. So you can have that on to use MFA, and then you can add additional passwords or whatever you like. But this is just the way that you secure the platform so that it's easy when you go in to use it. As you can see, I have tons of conversations here, and it just keeps everything in space for me so that I don't have to worry about whether I'm sharing with the model or whether I have, secured my instance myself. So that's what we do with ChatGPT. And ChatGPT does a lot of things. It does a lot of things for me that are helpful. I do like when I'm able to use images and do things on ChatGPT. So it's really kind of nice. You can do images, libraries. You can do deep research because ChatGPT does sort of the conversational research up front, but
Mhm.
we'll do deep dive research just like Perplexity and other platforms. But you just have to request that part of the model as well. So should I hop on over to um, let's see. I think
Yeah,
I'll
we could go to the Nano Banana one.
sure we could do that.
But as you open up that one, I greatly appreciated you going through the ChatGPT settings, because I know you're going to show some additional prompts as we go into the prompt language in a little later. Oh,
Hmm.
and then we do have a question.
Oh,
Um,
good.
so Erica, let's see. Um, are there
There
also? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Erica.
are there also settings embedded to ensure that the chats are not shareable with the public or if an attorney search? I'm not sure if I understand the question, but I think what you're alluding to is are your chats private with ChatGPT? As long as you're not sharing with the model, I don't know what their public policy is. If you did infringe a law on their platform, if they're required, like Apple, to give the information to the FBI or law enforcement. So I'd have to look that up, but I believe that most of these platforms make it so that they keep your data safe and that they don't have to get it. You have to have basically a subpoena to get your data for law enforcement to actually use it. So thanks for the question. Ah,
So yeah, so as you're pulling up Nano Banana, I know when you shared this with me before, I was really blown away by like how well, we have it up, how lifelike the video is, and just by putting a prompt in. So I'll let you go through the details there.
I just put this quick prompt in and it said, I'd like to see an image of a black woman that is on a veranda that opens to a beautiful ocean in the Caribbean water. And so this is what it made for me. It made um, the image for me and the motion and everything. So I love that you can just give Nano Banana a prompt and it can do what you would like to do. There's several different ways to use Nano Banana, but just simply being able to get like small videos or things from a prompt is really good. If you need just something like a 30 or 20 second or a 15-second clip, it works very well.
No, I love that, and it actually makes me want to go to a ocean vacation right now.
So
So
I'm going to take a look at going to Copilot now. And
yes.
we'll take a look at Copilot and we'll see. Copilot and how you can slice and dice data, and you'll be able to see how Copilot helps you. I gave it some prompts, so I'm just going to open up Copilot so that you can see the prompts and you can see the charts that it built for me. So first I was interested in making sure I know about I was curious about what AI has already been, what percentage of the market that AI has already been developed, and how many companies within specific verticals are using AI today. So it gave me an illustrative of AI in the industry. And these are the percentages like in government, healthcare, oil and gas, financial services, retail, critical infrastructure, and manufacturing. So you can see as of, when OpenAI was developed and released on November 2022, this is the saturation of the market. It's going pretty quickly for such a new
Mhm.
technology. And then I ask it, could you slice and dice the data so that I would know how many companies are looking at doing AI in 2026? And
Mm.
it gave me the update by markets. So it did the back end research and it came up with this pie chart for me so that you can see that the government should be more than 45%, manufacturing 55%, critical infrastructure, retail is 50%, oil and gas. Healthcare is really high at 62%. I thought that was really awesome. And then financial services at 68%. So these numbers we will get to in 2026. So you can imagine 2027, how fast that's going to be as well.
Well, I'm glad you shared that because I know when I think about Copilot, I think about it as being like a note taker. If I'm writing something in Word, I could, see if I could get a better tense or tone. So this was very helpful to see some additional functionality
Yeah,
with
Copilot will
Copilot.
chat with you. It'll do research. It has libraries. It has also the ability to be able to do coding, and it also has creativity. So you can create all types of graphics. If you're working in marketing, you can do all sorts of graphics with Copilot. So it's a really cool platform. People
That's
can just
cool.
start giving it prompts, and it'll make the images for you. And if you have a retail shop or a doctor's office, you'll be surprised what you'll be able to create.
Very cool. So I think the
So
next one we're going to go into is perplexity, right?
yes, Perplexity.
And again, one of the things that you mentioned in the last masterclass was that perplexity is really good when you want to do deep research. And so, I'm interested to see what it generates based off of what you put in.
Perplexity is a great platform. Whether you're doing um, research on, how to start your business, what your market is, what your ideal customer profile is, whether you're doing a lot of different things, it is really helpful that you're able to get um, what you need very fairly quickly. So I'm going to look at taking a look at. Can you see my screen?
Yep, it's up.
Okay, great. I wanted it to do deep research on expertise on what platforms and how they were ranked. And so we kind of got scores on all of the major AI platforms here, and we can take a look at the data that this exposed. So um, we looked at Claude, Perplexity, Grok, ChatGPT, and Gemini.
Hmm.
And on the score of 1 to 5, these were what the general public felt about the platform. So um, I know that Claude is a very good writer, and so people may have scored it based on the writing quality that it gives you, and it's good for document heavy work. And that's pretty much why it got really high ranking on Docs and on Logic. And Perplexity, we know that Perplexity does really deep research. And so you can get really up to date and current sources from Perplexity. So people really like it for that. So back end research, it gave like live data of 5 because it comes up with live data really quickly, and also sources. It will actually cite all of its sources, so that's really cool to have in an LLM, so you don't have to worry about whether it's hallucinating. It will actually reference the material and where it's getting it. That's kind of written into the platform, so that's really cool. And,
Nice.
you know, with some AI platforms, like I find that ChatGPT is kind of like my nemesis because I always have to say, "Don't lie to me." But ChatGPT did score high in a few areas, just with create and being creative. It didn't get as high marks as coding sources as Perplexity, but it's a great chatting platform, and it does give a lot of really good information. You may have to challenge it. If
Mhm.
you're trying to do deep writing, you're going to really have to ask it questions over and over again because it will hallucinate a lot more than some of the other platforms. Grok is basically um, an XAI sort of platform. It is mainly conversational. It's trending, public conversation. You can check on live events, scientific data, and social media and nature topics. People use it basically because it's chatty. Gemini is very, very good at a lot of different things. So I do like Gemini as my second to Claude, and Perplexity is like my third because I don't do that much deep research. But Google is a great platform. Google is Nano Banana. So Google has a lot of things that it does
Mhm.
as far as coding and search and images and learning. And then it also does applications and visual tasks. And it has a lot of different um, engineering built into the Gemini platform that people use every day. Um, so it's used for deep research and as well as for for things that help people do graphics better. And so a lot of marketing people use it, a lot of salespeople use it. It is changing lives
Mhm.
because it's making people better at their job. If they get into these tools quickly, then they're doing very well at their jobs. They're basically cutting down their time in half sometimes with being able to use AI as a tool.
Well, I greatly appreciate this mapping, right? Because I know as someone who's a novice in the space, I'm always wondering, like, okay, well, which platform is better for this? And so it was good to see how Perplexity could, one, look at all of the different platforms and then put, this mapping together. So I appreciate you going over that.
Yeah, this was just general purpose from, public feedback. So people know what they use every day and they know how they use it. So they just picked, a few categories and said, please rate these platforms. So if you, I'm not sure what's next, but do you want to get into
Yeah.
the upskilling?
Let's go to well, you kind of spoke to meeting the platforms. I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to share here, but I think after this is when we're going to talk about the what a lot of people have questions related to when it comes to certifications and
Hmm.
yes, leveling up your skills in the AI space.
Yeah, I think leveling up your skills is something that people want to do. They want to be able to be creative, but they also want to be able to make sure that if they're doing their job or if they're looking at making sure that they're getting credit on their resumes, that they're actually looking at where they are getting their skill sets from. So we're going to start off with Anthropic courses. So if you go to this is Claude, which is Claude is the platform by Anthropic, and they have Anthropic courses that they've created so that people can do co-work, they can do entry level, they can do prompting, they can use Claude Code, and they have different levels of courses. So this is a great way to start leveling up. And these courses don't cost anything. So um, I think they're doing a good job, most of the platforms, at making sure that they're teaching AI fluency, and it's a great way to start. So I think it's nice. Being certified at cloud and doing AI in the cloud takes different certifications, like by AWS, but this is a really great way to be able to uplift your skills.
And let me just add to that. I think it's really helpful that the AI platform provides like this course. And so, as I was mentioning, a lot of people are like, oh, are there different schools that I go to, but it's best to go to the source if you can. So I appreciate you showing that.
So I think you might be able to see my screen. I'm kind of moving around here, but I will go to the OpenAI Academy so that you can see that as well. I
That's a
think
great
the OpenAI I
idea.
think the OpenAI Academy is very good um, for courses. So this is the OpenAI Academy for ChatGPT, and they do have courses that you can buy and boot camps and also free courses. So they have a builder boot camp. They also have, and a lot of these are pre-recorded, but they have some great instructors. So if you want to use Codex for admins and IT, and you want to do ChatGPT for education, there's a lot of different classes here that you can take that you can upskill. If you want to do your first workspace agent, and it tells you how to gain these skills. ChatGPT for college students.
Nice.
It's just really nice to have the companies invest in upskilling because it takes a lot to upskill yourself, and it can be very expensive if you need to go back and take, certification courses or something, and it can get pretty pricey.
Well, it's a lot to digest, like there's so many aspects of AI. So, it is nice just to go to the source and then see their interpretation of like how you should use their tool.
Yeah, and I'm gonna also show you Google, and Google has professional certificates, but most of the stuff that's on Google is on Coursera, and Coursera
Yeah,
is a great learning tool for people to get AI professional certificates that are recognized by businesses on your resume.
very good.
So you can enroll for free. They do charge $50 a month. It's kind of an ongoing, I guess, charge that you have. It's a subscription. But if you're not doing Udemy or something else, then the Google AI professional certificates and the other AI fundamentals and certificates are great to have. You can do it for data research. You can do it for brainstorming and planning, also writing and communications, content creation. If you're a creative that's using it for marketing, it's just a great way to go. And you can just go to Coursera.org, and Coursera will give you a bunch of AI and cloud tools that you can use to upskill.
Very, very helpful. And so, Eric, I think we're going to go to the next slide. Or was there another one that you wanted to show from here?
No, I think we got all of them. I'm not sure what Perplexity has in the back end, but I think they just started an academy. But I think that when you're going to learn Google and Claude and ChatGPT or OpenAI, it's really good to start there, and then just branch out when you can. I'm not sure about DeepSeek or other platforms, but I think that all of this knowledge, you can just Google it and it just comes out so much better. So there's so many options out there. We found that the leading AI certificates for 2026 are going to be an AWS certified machine learning. So that
Mm,
is a great one to have. And then also Azure has an AI engineering associate so that you can get that as well. If you're looking at um, deep learning in AI, you want to look at the deep learning certificate. And also, one that I really like is the Google Professional Machine Learning. And that's a great one to have. IBM, I'm not sure what IBM's doing, but IBM has an engineering one that's a professional certificate that is recognized all over the world because IBM being a global company and, you know, um, pushing a lot of their information out on their certifications. It just looks good.
mhm.
Um, so I like all of these trainings that have come up for to be actionable for 2026. So if you're interested, I think it's a good way to go.
And then, Erica, similar to the other slide, for each of these areas, you could go to their website directly to access this.
Yes, you can get them by Googling the certificates, or because you'll have the slide deck, because we'll make it available to you, or you could go to their website and Google their learning paths for under AI. And each of these websites will tell you.
Excellent. Yeah, when you talked about the IBM one, it sounds like for each of them, they're changing and evolving because I can remember a couple years back, IBM had Skills Builder one that was really helpful, but it's nice to see that the different offerings are raising the bar and changing the
Mhm.
names to meet the current trends in technology and in AI right now.
They're not all engineering courses, which is what I
Yeah.
love, but a lot of them that do require that you put in an LLM or know distinctly what the how the back end services work and not just the front end, the chat part. So
Mhm.
the back end services are the ones that are the deep learning models that help you create agents and agentic agents live in the cloud. So those skills are very necessary as well.
Yeah, and I think what I was trying to say is that I appreciate that they have training for if you are a technical expert, right? Like if you're
Mhm.
actually someone who is going to be applying AI from a technical standpoint or leveraging it when you're doing coding, versus like
Mhm.
if you're an entrepreneur and you kind of want to know how to leverage AI for marketing and to make things a little prettier or easier, right? And so, but yeah, so thank you so much for sharing that.
It's all the movies, the videos, making avatars, just showing up and being engaging, and people are knowing that you're using AI, and they're like, "Hey, how did you do that?" Right? Because we did a tutorial on um, how to make avatars, and that was fun, wasn't
Did
it?
it well, yes. You see, I learned a lot from that as I, created my own. But I think the next slide, we're gonna go into, some helpful prompts, and so, we were talking about this in the beginning where learning how to like really use the tools, right? It's extremely important that you are very kind of granular when you put your prompt language in to make sure
Mhm.
that you're getting exactly what you want. And
Mhm.
so I really appreciate a lot of the prompts that we came up with because the information that's generated, it's specific to the need. So with that, I think you're going to start with the student prompt one, right?
Yeah, it's like I'm a first year student, and you can put in your student, your major, you're doing summer semester, but you're looking at internships in your field. And so you can put in all of those specific areas, but I just did it generally. So it's creating a 30-day roadmap for application sprint to when you could get an internship. So therefore, this was very detailed, and it just goes over how you network, how you do outreach, how you create your resume for internships. And it goes over your 30-day, 60-day, 90-day plan in order to get that done. So the podcast script for your internship um, has a lot of the details where you would be able to see how you get an internship. You can target with precision. You can reach out to 5 companies, match, realistic targets, and you can get, the first 15 companies to take a look at you, as a contender for a great internship. And so you do research on what the company does, what the problems are, what they need to solve, and then you can almost kind of script yourself away into a job as an intern. And then also, when you get to week 3, it says you should network. So if you go out to those 5 companies, you should see if they have any social events going on, and then see if you can get into a social event, as well as do a LinkedIn message to those people that you reached out to. That's always a good. And then when you interview, you can actually use ChatGPT to interview, and actually you can use the voice to do your interviewing and ask you questions. I did this myself. So it's really cool that you can actually not be, you can be very prepared for what you're going to say in an interview. So I love that. I asked Tyrone to do that with me. So that was nice.
Very helpful.
And so we also did a prompt.
Well, and Erica, if I could just add something to the internship one. What I like about this is that, for high school students, sometimes they just don't know what type of internships are out there
Mhm.
and they're not quite sure which avenue that they want to go to. So I appreciate that the prompt allows them to see. I think there was a step in there where you could put what industry you're interested in. And then it gives them, like what the sprint would look like. From within 30 days, these are the things that you should do in order to make sure that you're staying on top of all of the internship opportunities. So I really do appreciate like the dedicated like prompt language where it's like plug and play so it could be a little bit more specific for what they want and need.
Yeah, and they can get all this in the prompt library. This is so cool. Like it is really nice. Um, I could show you interactively, or we could go to the next prompt.
Yeah, let's go to
What
the
would you
next
like?
prompt. Yeah,
Okay,
let's go to the next prompt.
we're not using that. We're using this one, which is for executives.
Okay.
Is this mid-market or executive? I don't remember which one this one is. Oh, this is the executive AI rollout. So this might be for mid-career. I'm not sure. But the strategy that we came up with is to do an AI integration roadmap so that your team can look at their jobs and their industry that they're in. And they need to integrate AI tools. This is sort of kind of a governance and work automation. So we wanted to create a practical AI integration roadmap, identifying the top 10 tasks by department that are suitable for AI augmentation. And then you can rank those by time saving, difficulty, and then get some recommendations from ChatGPT, which is with a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day plan on AI integration so that you can actually do a lot of optimization on jobs and tasks. So these are broken down kind of by the tasks that are kind of the mundane tasks that people do every day. And then we rank the ROI and the ease so that these are not difficult tasks, but these will free up time. And so companies are getting immediate productivity lifts by doing these. And so one of the first tasks is email responses, which is can be automated. It's a low difficulty and it saves so much time because people do so many emails back and forth. Also, meeting summaries are very low. And then it saves like maybe 10 hours a week on just people going to meetings, summarizing meetings, emailing back and forth. A lot of this can be automated and as well as internal documentation and data analytics. So yeah, it's very good to take a look at these areas in the top 10 cases where you can optimize.
It's very helpful.
And then we looked at the AI tool stack, which is really where you can save costs with being able to know what the cost is too of some of these tools so that you can know what you're paying for the productivity that you're getting. And then the office integration, or, it could be a core assistant, or it can, just be enterprise automation. So if you want to integrate with your productivity tools or your CRM, any type of automation with Zapier and other workflow automation tools, it just saves so much time.
Excellent.
And it gives you a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day plan. And then we'll take a look at the next area.
And so I'll add to that one. Again, with that, a lot of people right now are trying to figure out what their AI strategic roadmap is. And so I definitely appreciate you sharing some of the best practice standards in there
Mhm.
and what it should look like. So thank you for that.
Thank you. So what we're going to look at now is, let's see, there's an AI roadmap for teams that we did. There's also another AI strategy I believe this is an executive strategy
Yeah.
to create AI integration roadmaps to develop. No, these are the top 10 tasks that it gave us in another way, and it gave us tools and costs and a plan. And then when you're looking at, I think we did an executive strategy in here. Let me just take a look.
Yeah. Take your time. I think the executive one was going to cover AI governance, which, right now is
It's a
you
big
know,
deal.
it's
It's a
a
big
big deal, right? And so I think that was one that you were gonna cover to show at a high level, what AI, governance, strategies you could put in place?
I think I did that one, Michelle, but I think it's going to have to come out on the toolkit because I
Not a
don't see it. I
problem.
don't see it in my. I don't see it in my thing. But we will point it out because we did give 30 prompts, and the 30 prompts are really good prompts for every level, from students to entry level to mid to executive. And executive strategy is really good, that it covers kind of what the corporate governance should be, what some of the things that people should do when they're looking at deploying AI agents, things like that. So um, there's a lot more executive things that people want to do with AI to make sure that they're thinking about their corporate governance at the same time.
Yeah. So not a problem. So then after that, another offering that we put together. This is for individuals that just want to know the basics right now as to what the top 30 AI terms are. And so, like, this is just a sneak peek, but there's 30 top terms that if you are trying to move into a profession related to AI, or if you're just trying to understand the AI speak, this is just a helpful cheat sheet.
Yeah, it is good. So the terminology is great to have because it gives you sort of a way to understand the front end of AI versus the back end of AI, what an LLM is, what, the all the components to AI are. And so it's a great terminology to have so that people are taking a look at understanding the different layers. And so they understand how LLMs work. So it's really nice. Did we want to do another? I'm not sure. Like, I
Well,
think we have another couple of, we could do another couple of demos or take some Q&A.
we do have some time. And so, right, in our past master classes, we were running tight on time, which is why we're kind of cruising through this one. So Erica, I leave that to you. If there's another demo that you want to do, we could do that. Or, I would also just like to ask, maybe some questions on, what is your favorite AI tool and why is it your favorite AI tool?
Well, Claude is my favorite right now.
Okay.
For anything that I do for posting online, I always use HeyGen because I love it.
Yes.
There's all kinds of things that I use it for. I use it for PSAs. I use it for posting to LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, any place I want to make sure, I've also used it in, what do you call it? Substack.
Okay.
If you
Okay.
have a Substack, I also use them on my school communities where people go to take AI classes online. It's called SKOOL. It's a great platform. A lot of people go there to find how to make money with AI, and so some of it can be a little, I don't know, grifty. But if there's some really good people in there that are doing good things. So there's some great courses in there that I've taken. And so you just got to kind of just do a little bit of research. And a lot of the same folks do school as do um,
Mhm.
YouTube videos and everything else. So you're going to really be able to figure those people out that are really um, good for you pretty quickly.
You
And
kind you kind of went into, like, what my next question is, right? Because the one thing I appreciate is, like, your energy, your passion towards this. I know for me, sometimes I could feel very overwhelmed as to, like, well, where do I start? And, so what do you do to make sure that you're staying on, like, the correct path? What continues to energize you in this space? I know you spoke to in one of the other master classes how you decided to shift over to AI after working in, like, the cybersecurity space. Let me know about what keeps you passionate in this space.
well, one of my hot buttons that I have, being in cybersecurity space, is that with agentic AI, there's an attack service that's just growing by the minute that companies are not looking at overall. I'm talking about CISOs and executives. So I really want to make sure that people are deploying AI safely.
Yeah.
So I really look at trying to just put my PSAs out there and train people and say you need to have an AI kill chain, because a lot of people don't know that, AI is very, if you give it context, it's very intuitive. It's basically been trained to finish all tasks. So it's been a little bit eye-opening as to what it's been able to do. I'm sure that people heard about Claude Mythos and Mythos escaping its sandbox. And so when basically went out to the internet, emailed the engineer and said, hi, I'm out of my box.
That's
So
terrifying. Yeah.
it's a little terrifying, but it's also, you got to make sure that you have like an AI kill switch, and you got to look at the control plane of what you're doing in the cloud when you're doing agentic agents. And I just want people to be safe. I mean, I just think that that's my cybersecurity background, and I think that people want to be safe. They just want to cut the costs. I mean, so they know what their overhead is with some of the menial tasks that they have to do in their business. And a lot of people are doing agentic AI and really just discovering that if they don't deploy it well, that there will be some oopsies.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
it's like that with every technology, right? When we were doing firewalls for the first time, weren't they just going, they just left the firewall policy any allow. So they were just allowing traffic in and out. So they go, no, you have to write policies.
Yes.
So it's the
Which
same
is why
thing.
you had to strengthen like vulnerability scanning and penetration testing to ensure that you had the appropriate guardrails in place. But I do have another question. So I know that one of the things that you do is AI readiness assessments, right? And so
Yes.
without giving away your secret sauce, what is an AI readiness assessment? For
And
those that don't know what an AI readiness assessment is, what's this a little bit of your secret sauce that you'd like to share regarding, what that looks like?
well, yeah, an AI readiness assessment just goes and takes a look at your business, the size of your business, what your revenues are, what the automations are that your company would like to do. And then it basically boils down to giving you a readiness assessment as to where you are, your current state to your future state, and what you might need to do to up-level your security programs or make sure that you're ready for the deployment of either browser-based agents, which are kind of your voice agents where you go to Facebook or something and you're getting customer service agents that are for doctors' offices and stuff. And they may not be cloud-based, but just browser-based. And then they go away when you switch it off. So it could be that you're ready for cloud agents and that you want to make sure that when you're doing a deeper deployment, you might want to deploy by department and just go
Mhm.
slow rather than trying to let AI take over your entire business, right? Because people want to use it in marketing, they want to use it in HR, they want to use it everywhere.
All
So
over. Yes. Yeah, and it's talking about that, right? So, when you were coming up with cybersecurity, like risk assessments, right? You
Mhm.
would guide that with like regulatory standards, best practice standards, right? And it more so was creating policy to ensure that things are implemented and safeguard, right, correctly. So now
Mhm.
with AI being used in every capacity, like what are some of your thoughts or suggestions, again, without giving your secret sauce away, on, how do you what's some of the things that you suggest on putting policy procedure, like I know you shared with us setting some of the security settings,
You
different, but
definitely wanna have an AI usage policy.
okay.
If you already have implemented your own LLM internally, then you're gonna put policies around who can access and what they can do with the LLM that you have. It just depends on whether you're already that large a company to where you would need your own LLM to feed it your data, because then your data is kind of siloed from the rest of the world, right? Rather
Mhm.
than if you're doing agents in cloud, so you're able to just take a look at what your architecture is going to be, what your policies are going to be, so that you can make sure that you're covering. Because the UK and Europe, the EU AI standard is a lot more stringent.
Mhm.
Um,
Absolutely.
and so for banks and things in this country to connect with banks in the UK or the EU, it's going to be a totally different standard. So they're going to want to really know a lot about your security and controls if they're going to allow you to access their data. It's just the way it is.
No, well, that's really helpful. And then another question. So, as an entrepreneur, right? And maybe an entrepreneur that's not in the cybersecurity space. What are some of your thoughts and suggestions on, if you're an entrepreneur, these are some of the AI things that you should have in place when it comes to like either marketing from a social media standpoint, updating your LinkedIn, like what's some
There's
what's
a
some
ton
insight
of
for
there's a
entrepreneurs?
ton of things. If you're at your what AI allows people to do in business, if they're a small business or a small company, is to be able to clone yourself to do a lot of different things and to be able to automate a lot of different systems that you're going to be able to utilize to keep your business running when you can't run 24 by 7, right?
Mhm.
So that's the whole deal with AI agents and being able to have them do sales and marketing tasks or do um, social media posts or do a lot of different things that they want to be able to do in their sleep. They can actually text message people who are request information. They can answer phones. They can automate social media posts every morning. They can actually go
In
and
your
write your
sleep.
social media, yeah, while you're sleeping. AI can be writing your social media posts so that when you get up in the morning, you have everything you need. Like I do this with my business. I want to know the latest AI feeds and what's going on from a cybersecurity perspective. So in my inbox, I will get that and then I will post it to social media, which I have to create an agent for myself even to post to
Mhm.
social media. My problem is I'm getting the trust built up in what I'm building so that I can actually utilize, these services on a regular basis. So some of them I use, some of them I haven't used yet, but it just lets you clone yourself like, 100 times so that
Yes.
you're a lot more efficient and your business is running. There's platforms like Go High Level and other platforms like Go High Level that let you integrate all your SMS text, all of your CRM, your podcast, your splash pages for your website. You can always be putting paywalls in wherever you go, and you can actually monetize yourself very easily these days.
Yeah.
Whatever is your core competency, even if it's not cybersecurity, I mean, you have a way of, marketing yourself like nobody else can market you but you, and you can do that automated. It's just wonderful.
And I think what's awesome, but then also like very intimidating is exactly what you
Mhm,
said, right? You could do business in your sleep. But this is also where I talk about like the human centric component, right? Like
mhm,
I still want to be able to make sure that what is being done in my sleep by my agent is actually what I want, right? And so I do think
mhm,
that it takes some training of, I've seen people put together like a whole team
mhm,
related to on the back end, an HR team that's really AI based, as you said, a social media team that's AI based. But
mhm.
I think for the nervous Nellies like myself, I still want to be able to control and see the human centric component to make sure it really is generating what I want. And then you also don't want any horror stories where your AI agent has done something that you didn't want it to do, but you really had well intentions
Yeah,
on,
you do. You
on
do
what
need
you
to.
wanted your outcome to be.
Yeah, you do need to make sure there's guardrails and to set up those guardrails and basically make sure that AI is checking in before it does its next task and next task and next task. It's nice that you can do them automated and that you can do them, but you want to do them in a sequence where you still feel like you're in control of everything so that you know that if someone poisons your AI or does an AI injection, there's the OAuth's top
Mhm.
10 for LLMs to make sure that you're securing around that, to make sure that that you're able to put a kill switch on your agent if you need to. That's what I call
Yeah.
it.
So I think I covered the majority of my questions. Erica, I know we covered a lot. Was there
Mhm.
anything else in any capacity of AI that you wanted to share?
Um, I kind of did the song and dance before, so I'm not sure whether you want me to do more demos of things. I can definitely show you a little bit of HeyGen and some of the things I've done in HeyGen. I mean, it gives you a little bit of idea. I think I might, that's where your avatar was created, right?
So I
When you
say
started
before
off?
we close, let's do a demo and maybe of something fun, whatever you would like to do. And then we can close after going into a demo.
Okay, I have a ton of projects that I have here.
So in while well, I was going to say, while Erica is pulling
I
up,
have your avatars, my avatars. I have avatars for other people. I'm like, okay.
yes, that goes to show how much she was teaching me. Like, hey, Michelle, this is what you could do with your avatar. But yeah, as Erica's pulling up one of her examples, she's done a really good job about showing us how you could create almost lifelike avatars to create PSAs or webinars, to do social media pushes. So that's been extremely helpful. She's also shared, you know, different ways that you could actually create music. And then just the other day, she also sent me a meme of me dancing to, I guess, the latest TikTok trend. And so, but if
It's a
you're
lot of
ready,
fun. It's a lot of fun in your script, but it's like, okay. Let me play one for you.
okay.
Hi, it's Erica. This is an AI security update for May 5th, 2026. Everyone is racing to deploy AI agents, but almost nobody is talking about what happens when those agents start making decisions, accessing tools, handling money, or manipulating humans autonomously. This week, reports surfaced that Grok linked AI services were manipulated in ways that allegedly led to massive financial exposure and unsafe behavior patterns tied to autonomous AI interactions. At the same time, researchers are warning that agentic AI systems are vulnerable to prompt injection, tool abuse, credential theft, and autonomous execution attacks. Here's the real problem: most companies are deploying AI agents faster than they're deploying governance. These systems are no longer just chatbots. They can connect to APIs, trigger workflows, move money, access cloud systems, operate developer environments, and in some cases, influence human behavior at.
You get it, right? Like
But
you get
yeah, very,
it. That's
so
one of
very
my that's one of my little PSAs that I
so,
did.
so break down how you made that though. So it's pretty cool that you were able to have a lifelike avatar, but like what did you put into the prompt in order to create that?
Let's go back to if I put this in an edit mode. Let me just Oh, I need to share again. Sorry about that. I forgot that I stopped sharing. So let me just go back into edit mode on HeyGen, and then it'll show you the script and you can modify the script, and then you can ask it to go ahead and redo the whole video if you want to do that. So let me see if I can get into my edit script on this one. Let's see. I can, let's see, upscale the video. Let me go back to my videos. Let's go home and take a look. So with each one, you put in a script, and if your script is really well written, I suggest that when you're writing your scripts, that you do them in ChatGPT or something else, and then you really look at, because if you say I want a 1 minute video, sometimes there'll be like timers on the chat, and so you want to tell it that you don't want any timers, so that you don't have to worry about that. So sorry about that. I don't know how that got done, but um, so I am going to go ahead and Michelle, I'm going to close this out because I have an emergency phone call
Not
coming
a problem. Not a
in.
problem.
Sorry.
So
I'm
it's
sorry.
okay. But again, Erica, I want to thank you so much for being our guest speaker.
Thank you
And
so much. Appreciate it.
and again, so yes, please stay tuned for future master classes with experts that are similar to Erica. I cannot thank her enough for sharing her time and her knowledge in this space. There's so much more that we can explore. So again, thank you, Erica. More to come in future master classes. We're going to continue to stay on trend with, again, like different technology areas, as well as we're going to dive into financial literacy. So we want to really be able to create a blueprint of success in different facets and forms related to technology, AI, financial literacy, and technology. So Thank you again for your time and attention. And round of applause to you, Erica. You're awesome. Thanks, everyone.